Good evening, brothers and sisters. Here we are again in Mareeba in far north Queensland. We've gathered together for you because we want to let Natsarim see what is going on in this part of the country and to see if you can compare with what Yahusha's doing on your side of the world. It's pretty interesting when you think about it, that he's feeding us all similar things. So we prepared this last week, we talked about it, and everyone's been having a look at the scripture this week, and we're going to see how they feel about what they've studied. We looked at, if you want to turn your scripture to Jude, and the whole chapter of that we're going to do. It's only one chapter. And Amy's going to read that for us, and we're going to do James, Jacob, in chapter 1 from 1 to 12. So see how you relate to what the guys are thinking, and listen to Yahusha as we go through it, because it's quite fascinating. Okay, I'm going to hand it over to Amy now, and she's going to read that scripture for us.
Hi everyone. I'll read Yehuda. The heading in the Besorah here is a warning letter against falling away. Yehuda, a servant of Yahusha Mashiach and brother of Jacob, to those who are called, set apart by Elohim the Father, and preserved in Yahusha Mashiach. Compassion and peace and love be increased to you. Beloved ones, making all haste to write to you concerning our common deliverance. I felt the necessity to write to you, urging you to earnestly contend for the belief which was once for all delivered to the Kodesh ones. For certain men have slipped in, whose judgment was written about long ago. Wicked ones perverting the favour of our Elohim for indecency and denying the only Master Yahuwah and our Master Yahusha Mashiach. But I intend to remind you, though you once knew this, that Yahuwah, having delivered a people out of the land of Mitzrayim, afterward destroyed those who did not believe. And the messengers who did not keep their own principality, but left their own dwelling, he has kept in everlasting shackles under darkness for the judgment of the great Yom. Even as Sodom and Amorah and the cities around them in a similar way to these, having given themselves over to whoring and gone after strange flesh, are set forth as an example, undergoing judicial punishment of everlasting fire. In the same way, indeed, these dreamers defile the flesh and reject authority, and speak evil of esteemed ones. But Michael, the chief messenger, in contending with the devil, when he disputed about the body of Moshe, presumed not to bring against him a blasphemous accusation, but said, Yahuwah rebuke you. But these blaspheme that which they do not know, and that which they know naturally, like unreasoning beasts. In these they corrupt themselves. Woe to them, because they have gone in the way of Cain, and gave themselves to the delusion of Bilam for a reward, and perished in the rebellion of Korach. These are rocky reefs in your love feasts, feasting with you, feeding themselves without fear, waterless clouds borne about by the winds, late autumn trees without fruit, twice dead, pulled up by the roots, wild waves of the sea foaming up their own shame, strange stars for whom blackness of darkness is kept forever. And Canok, the seventh from Adam, also prophesied of these, saying, See, Yahuwah comes with his myriads of set-apart ones, to execute judgment on all, to punish all who are wicked among them, concerning all their wicked works which they have committed in a wicked way, and concerning all the harsh words which wicked sinners have spoken against him. These are grumblers, complainers, who walk according to their own lusts, and their mouth speaks proudly, admiring faces for the sake of gain. But you, beloved ones, remember the words spoken before by the emissaries of our Master YAHUSHA Mashiach, because they told you that there would be mockers in the last time who would walk according to their own wicked lusts. These are the ones who cause divisions, not having the Ruach. But you, beloved ones, building yourselves up on your most set-apart belief, praying in the Ruach HaKodesh, keep yourselves in the love of Elohim, looking for the compassion of our Master YAHUSHA Mashiach to everlasting life. And show compassion towards some who are doubting, but others save with fear, snatching them out of the fire, hating even the garment defiled by the flesh. And to him who is able to keep you from stumbling and to present you blameless before the presence of his esteem with exceeding joy, to the only wise Elohim, our deliverer, be esteem and greatness and might and authority, both now and forever. Amen.
We go over to...
We keep going then?
Yeah.
Okay. That's Mark's one, is it?
Yep.
Okay. Yaakov, James, chapter 1. Yaakov, a servant of Elohim and of the Master YAHUSHA Mashiach, to the 12 tribes who are in the dispersion. Greetings, my brothers. Count it all joy when you fall into various trials, knowing that the proving of your belief works endurance. And let endurance have a perfect work, so that you be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing. If any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask of Elohim, who gives to all generously and without reproach, and it shall be given to him. But he should ask in belief, not doubting, for he who doubts is like a wave of the sea, driven and tossed by the wind. For that man should not think that he shall receive whatever from the Master. He is a double-minded man, unstable in all his ways. And let the lowly brother boast in his exaltation, but the rich in his humiliation, because as a flower of the field he shall pass away. For the sun rose with burning heat, and withered the grass, and its flower fell, and its pretty appearance perished. So also the rich man shall fade away in his ways. Blessed is the man who does endure trial, for when he has been proved, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Master has promised to those who love him.
Okay. All right, well, we're just going to go through the brothers and sisters now and see what they think, what's jumped up at them. And you were saying, Amy?
That when I was reading that, we actually read through it the other day right after we finished talking about Noah and what the people were like at that time when Yahuwah decided to wipe everyone off the earth. And then funnily enough we read that afterwards, and it's like it's saying that people are going to become like that again in the last days, and that bad that he's going to have to wipe everyone off. And it was just explaining what people are like. And I think that, well, what I got from it was that it's going to be get harder for us in the last days as time goes on and things get worse on the earth, for us to stay strong and to do Torah and all that, because there's going to be so much coming against us, so many, like it was talking about in Yaakov, all the trials and things, but we should be counting them joy, and that we should be staying strong and encouraging one another to stay strong in our belief.
Yeah.
Instead of all the pulling each other down all the time, we should be, I think it said in Yehuda, it said to show compassion towards some who are doubting. So be compassionate to one another when we're not sure about something, rather than, and a lot in the community, Natural community, I see everyone tearing each other down if they see someone not confident or not sure about something, rather than being compassionate and showing love to one another and seeing that we're all in this together and we're all trying to stay strong while we're in these experiences. So, and just, it's warning us what will happen if you fall away. You're gonna.
What do you think that is saying will happen if you fall away?
You'll be judged. It said that Yahuwah is coming down with his set apart messengers to judge the wicked ones and the wicked sinners and wickedness.
Like Sodom and
That
Gomorrah.
talked about wicked, yeah.
Do you think some people get judged before he returns?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I didn't know we were stopping at 12 in
Didn't
James. No, and it said later on that sin brings forth death.
Yeah.
Sin brings forth death. So that's a judgment in itself.
So if you fall away, death.
You
That's
could
what you've
die.
got.
You could die. It's on the,
Yeah.
I looked
Good
at,
points.
in the James one that I read, I looked at, I've read it so many times, that verse at the top. Count it, blind. There it is, count it all joy when you fall into various trials. We've read that so many times and talked about it. Different versions have different words there. Lou's chosen the word trial. That word trial implies, and it carries on from our last discussion on behaviour, because a trial is a formal examination and you are judged by a judge, and it's the testing the performance, qualities and suitability of a person. A trial is a test. So if you put the word test in there, count it all joy when you fall into various tests. So when it says fall, it kind of implies that it's a bad thing, like you're stumbling over, you're falling into a test. I didn't see it like that. I thought if we're being tested, it's from Yahusha. He gives us all these things and the instructions and everything, like on the last 5 shows we've done. We've been given all the tests, just like we've done with the children, given all the instructions. Now you have to be tested. And count it all joy when you're tested, because the proving of your belief. Our belief has to be proved. We have to prove to Yahusha that we're going to do what he's shown us to do. The first few weeks after the videos, we took it into our heads. We said we believed it. Yeah, great, we believe it. But then we were tested on a few things, and we hadn't really put anything into practice, hadn't put any of the systems into place. And so the pressure we were feeling was just horrendous. And then we started, it's horrible pressure. And it was just between ourselves. I was feeling it away from the family. She was feeling it with the family. Like, we come together and there's this pressure because we knew.
Can I excuse you for a minute there? Now, Sean, and you especially, Hector, listen to what Mark's saying. He really wants you to respond. Don't sit back there and give us a tick that you saw it. Respond, guys. Now, Mark and Amy have put forth some very good points here, and they want you to put the points to yourself. Okay, you got that? Put these points to yourself. Go on, mate.
Yeah. So
Didn't prove ourselves.
we weren't proving ourselves. We were just not doing, like, he's given us this amazing new life, amazing salon, amazing house, amazing everything, and much is expected of those who are given much. And so then he came straight in with his instructions and said, this is how you do it with the children, this is how you keep evil spirits out of your home, this is how you get ahead with money so you're not always a burden and a problem, this is how you behave. And it's just, great video shows. It's like being religious. Like, we went to circus and we had a great time and then went and did what we want during the week. It's like, that's not on with Yahusha. He's right in our face, and he's like, and it's a good thing, because he's not letting us. This week, I opened the scripture a few times and read to the boys about the parable of the sower and the seed. And it took a few times because of the different hearts and the different seeds. And, a guy threw the seed across the soil and it went on the footpath, it went on the thorns. And so explaining the different types of hearts. Our heart was always like, we believe it, great. And we go out there and it just fizzles out. The birds take the seed away. Or cares of this world take the seed away, or something takes the seed away. You lose the passion, you lose the desire to do it. But the thing I'm realising this week is Yahusha's doing everything.
That's true.
Yahusha is doing everything.
Yeah.
We didn't have the power like we've read the scriptures, even when we're Christians, we've read that scripture. Why haven't we overcome yet? Why haven't any of us overcome yet? Because, we didn't have the power. Yahusha's doing it now. Every time we read it, it's a different way of reading it. We didn't know it like we know it now. And as we start to go to sleep a little bit, or other things come into our mind, Yahusha's right there saying, no, remember the point you learnt, you've got to do this, you've got to do that. If the kids act up, and normally you let it sort of slide, no, get onto it now. So he's sort of right in our face, which is what we always wanted, because it's just amazing. That's the point that jumped out at me. Count it all joy when you fall into various trials.
Have you been doing that?
No, not prior.
What about you guys? Have you been doing that? Counting everything that happens to you joy? That's wonderful, isn't it? You're so good.
Because we assume that we can have our day run smoothly because other people might, or why shouldn't we? If we plan good enough, our day will run smoothly. Not like that. Because Yahusha, it's like we're all dealing, because we've all got to trade, and trade until he comes. So we're all sort of dealing with dead people, zombies. We're all just dealing all day, every day, with dead people. So it's like he's saying to us, I'm going to put certain people in front of you, and I'm going to test you to see how you handle that type of behaviour. How's your behaviour going to be compared to theirs? Are you going to take it personal? Are you going to get upset, come back at them the way they communicate? Or are you going to count it all joy and see that, this might be a test? See, I didn't really like the word trial there. I thought test would be, because trial implies that it's a negative thing, whereas a test is from Yahusha. He's testing us, knowing that the proving of your belief works endurance. And later on down in verse 12 it said about enduring as well. And then in the chapter before it talks about those who could not endure. In Jude it said the whole chapter's about people who fall away. They can't endure. And this chapter's about how to endure. In Hebrews 12 he's showing us how he's going to train us and flog us so that we will endure. And it's all about behaviour. So to me it's always just about having the right word to the right person at the right time. Now Yahusha's sort of saying, I'm coming into your personal life with you and your wife and your children. No cameras, no nothing, and I want you to do this and this and this and this. And nobody has to know about it. This is between you and I. I want you to behave this way. Don't do that anymore, do this. Don't do that anymore, do this. Because when you've got a certain behaviour for Jason and a certain behaviour for Chris and a certain behaviour for Lou, a certain behaviour at home, you're just an actor, a mask wearer. And then you go and sit by yourself and you're depressed because you've got no one to impress. And that's Yahusha wants us to impress him. And he's always watching.
Yeah.
That's great.
Very good.
I've got nothing
else. Well, if you want to butt in later on as we go, you can do.
I just wanted to add how excited and full of enthusiasm that Jude was, Yehuda, to actually warn people. He came and he was so concerned for their hearts, concerned for their welfare. And it says a warning letter against falling away. This is all about people that are falling away and how devastating that is. When you think of the slaves, the Hebrews that came out of Egypt, Mitzrayim, Yahuwah delivered them through everything and delivered them out and gave them food and clothes and miracles and worship in the tabernacle and the whole story of the wilderness and how they were kept going through into the promised land, and yet he destroyed all those people that came out of Egypt because they'd disobeyed him. And now we look at the world today and how enticing it is. So many times it's just, it's been so enticing, and it must be going to get more enticing. It's more amazing, the things that man is building, and everything's, bling and glitter and so much more fascinating, and the newest technology and the latest toy and so many amazing things to drag you away from Yahusha's love. And so this is what's really concerning me, in this scripture it talks about the thing that where people, how far people go, how they turn away from the love, they turn away from Torah and being obedient to his commands. And this is what is so important, like Mark, you were saying, in the home, everywhere you are, Yahusha is talking to you, and you want to prove your love to him now, which is so amazing to get to that point where he is that close and real. Fantastic that we can actually hear Yahusha. And for a long time I couldn't hear Yahusha, and I was so depressed because I was fighting and angry and couldn't get through. But he wants us now that we've recognising and seeing and coming to that point, he wants us to prove our love. We can't just say it. He wants us to actually prove it. And count it all joy. That's something that's been an amazing revelation to me, because I haven't counted things joy, trials joy. Yeah. And how do you count trials joy? I mean, you can put on a face and pretend, but in your heart you've got to recognise Yahusha is doing this, and I'm going to be I'm going to have him. He wants to give us that endurance, because that's what we're going to need in this last days. Like, it's going to get really, really frightening, I think. But not for us, because we know Yahusha and he's with us. But if you let your guard down, if you let things in, it's just going to sweep you away. And that's just how I felt with the scripture. Just carrying on from what you guys were saying.
So true. That's great, Dave. Anything more?
That was about it.
It's lovely.
What do you think, Jace?
Yeah.
Ellie?
Yet, like I hear from you, Victoria, it seems like how I feel. Yeah, I feel like depressed. I feel stressed, and.
Do you think the people there are feeling the same?
Yes.
As you overseas in other countries?
Yes.
Yeah. I think it's happening to everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
The pressure.
Yeah, I feel stressed, depressed. I think, what's happened with me? It's feeling heavy, and I said to Jason, "Do you feel heavy and stressed like me?" Yeah, but you have to come to Yahusha and talk with him, and Yahusha will lift you up, so it make you feel better. So I come to Yahusha, I feel better. And then if I'm upset again, I'm upset with everything what I'm doing, I'm not make me happy. And just say, "Count your joy." How I count my joy? I don't understand how I count a joy. And I just keep reading. Oh, I feel good. I said, count the joy all the time. Alright. I try hard, yeah. And how I feel like, wow, it's different. Like, I can't imagine what happened with people in outside there.
Yeah.
How they can handle if they doesn't have Yahusha. But they still look happy. I said to Jason, they look happy, but they're not on the heart. Yeah. Alright. So how I feel that I'm so grateful. I know Yahusha. I'm just thinking like, if not, maybe I'm gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, get wiped.
Yeah. Very good.
Yeah.
Dave.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Pleasure.
When I was just reading through it, I just got like certain points that like stood out to me, and that like touched me as I was reading through, and like one of the words and what I felt like with Yehuda, just that relationship and that with that belief that he had in like what he was saying. He was just like so confident. Was saying what he was bringing forth, like for all of us, yeah. And but yeah, so just like feel some of the words, like it said in verse 1, set apart Elohim the Father and preserved in Yahusha. So like we're preserved. I think someone brought that up, and then compassion and peace and love be increased to you.
It's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, so we're getting all that compassion and love and peace, and I just think of like the people out there, they don't have that compassion and love. Yeah, and so we need to have that compassion and peace and love for the people who like are falling away. We've got to have compassion for those people. Yeah, so we need to have that, and then it tells you like to ask for those things if you don't have it. And then like the letter, like it says here, it's warning us against falling away. And then what else? So what else is just the belief. It's all about the belief that it says, I felt the necessity to write to you, urging you to earnestly contend for the belief which was once for all delivered to the Kodesh ones. And so I was just thinking, like, what have we got to contend for the belief? What does that mean? You reckon? Anyone? We've got to contend for the belief. Is that like fight for the belief? Yeah?
Yeah, got to make an effort. Got to really, earnestly make those strive to. Don't go to sleep. Don't just be complacent. You've got to really make efforts.
Yeah.
What's the difference from how you felt to when you read that to now? What you think? From before, now you're seeing this word contend.
Yeah.
How's that affecting you?
Yeah, because I can't be like complacent in my ways.
You were.
Yeah, I was. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah, no.
And so it's really serious. Mark was saying something too. He was saying before about like how Yahusha in the last week, and I think I mentioned it to you, how Yahusha, like with all these issues that we've been doing, how much he's been getting me in line and in order, and it's just been so clear. And he wrote down, it was somewhere here, he
What's been clear? Tell Sean.
hey Shawnee, it's been so clear that the voice and knowing him, that feeling, that pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you're feeling a real closeness with Yahusha,
Yeah,
like coming in strong.
yes.
Yeah, and you can feel his presence.
Yeah, because he's been telling me all this before, telling all these things, and I haven't been recognising it or ignoring it. Yeah,
So your senses are heightened
senses
now
are heightened.
to his voice.
Yes.
Yeah. Are you feeling a bit like when Yahusha came down on the mountain and it was burning up the top and the clouds and the lightning and the voices, and if anyone went near the mountain, they'd be destroyed?
Yeah.
Are you feeling like that close?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Don't want to step out of line.
No.
It hurts.
What happens?
Because I had all my paperwork out of order. I hadn't been doing it because I was going to sell a salon, and then it just I didn't get it back into order. And so then after all these issues, that's when it started. Like I want all that in order. So
Right, you actually heard him say that.
he wants everything in order. So we went there last week, got everything done, got all the bookwork up in order, and you can just keep in order, because otherwise you get.
It's fun too, isn't
It's
it?
wonderful.
Because you can see how he's blessing you.
Yeah, and so and then you just you have the peace. Yeah,
That's right.
and
You do what he tells you.
mm,
That's his training you for the jobs he's going to give you in the future.
yeah,
Oh, wonderful. That's great, Jace.
And yeah, just like when Victor was saying, like just everything that Yahushua created. So you talk like from the messengers, the Malachim, to all the people, and so you look at like so like the letter against falling away. So the Malachim fell away, yeah, and then you've got the people who are falling away, and just all that judgment. And you look at the people around us, yeah, who have fallen away, yeah, and you know it talks about the people with money, yeah, and you know how their life is going to turn out, like the flowers and the grass and their way, yeah. So just looking at that, how everyone who falls away, yeah, from the plan and from Yahusha, how their path is going to end.
What's the plan?
Yahusha's plan, yeah. Well, his people. So we spend eternity. Yeah, stay in the covenant. You know, and that's what we're being preserved through all that, what all them are going through. And so that meant a lot to me, yeah. Being preserved, that relationship and where we are, and then the belief. What does it say here?
But you're enjoying it, aren't you?
Yes.
Whereas before you weren't.
No.
You just felt his wrath on you.
Yes.
Because you were being naughty.
Yeah.
But now he's woken you up, and it's his time to do it for you, and this is your time with him. And he's saying to you, this is what I want, Jace, this is what I want. Yeah. And you're saying, yes, Father, and things are happening.
Yeah.
You can see better.
Yeah.
Eh?
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I feel that happening too.
Yeah? Go on.
Oh, just what you were saying there, I can, that made sense. It's exactly what I think.
Very excited.
Finally, yeah, getting excited about it and finally feel like I'm actually waking up.
Yeah.
So it feels like,
That's
it sort of feels like we've been going on for so many years now, like you read it or you hear it and you know it in your head, but it's always been this like, oh, it's too hard to do it, I can't do it, how do you do it, and how do you keep it, and how do you be excited about it? And like it's saying, like in the trials and everything, you're supposed to count it joy, and everyone said, you know, that's hard to do, it is, but I finally feel like I'm starting to, like I'm still losing it here and there, but I feel like I'm starting to get it. I feel like it's just like my eyes have been opened. Like I've just woken up and it makes sense and I can do it. And I feel like like he's giving me the strength now and the instruction. Like doing these issues things has been fantastic. I've really enjoyed it. It's been really encouraging and just learning it all, like everything we've been learning through that, the experiences. How do you guys feel about the issues? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear what you're thinking. This is how we feel. Is it affecting you guys at all? And what are you thinking? Give us some feedback and some comments about what you're feeling and going through. Don't just leave us here doing it.
Don't post
Join in.
scriptures.
Yeah. Don't give us a scripture without telling us what it feels.
When there's a competition, they say ring. Ring.
So, I'm pretty excited about that. I feel like I'm finally,
It's like having kids has always been like you're a victim. It's not like that anymore. It's a blessing.
Oh, yeah.
You're in control of it. We can be in control of it.
And teaching the kids and watching them learn things is so much fun. Like watching them learn all the rules and learn how to behave and do stuff. It's actually really fun. Yeah. Whereas before it was so heavy and hard and just like a burden and, you know, exhausting. And but now it's like, it's exciting. It's all exciting watching what he does in each week. Just seeing how it happens each day and stuff. I'm starting to feel really excited about it and encouraged and things. But, you know, before it was... I just feel like I've been going through years and years of struggling, trying to get there, seeing other people with it, seeing other people feeling like that, thinking, oh, I just don't feel like that. And now I feel like that and I'm excited. And I think, and one big thing I was just thinking before when we were talking about the trials and counting them joy and stuff, is I thought, for me, like what I've noticed in this last few weeks of experiences is like, if I don't believe that something's from Yahusha, I crumble, fall apart, and it's horrible, and it's depressing, and heavy, and angry. But when I actually honestly believe that it's from him, no matter what it is, if I believe that he's in control and that he's bringing something to me for a reason, then I feel like it's okay. No matter what it is, I feel like it's okay because I trust him and I have to believe that. So I've noticed the only times where I've started to really feel really down and things like that is when I haven't been believing and trusting him. And so if I do, then I can count it all joy because I can go, okay, no, he's in control. He knows what he's doing. It'll be fine. You know, or, you know, he's doing this to me for a reason. He's showing me this for a reason. And I've just got to learn it and go through it. And, you know, but if you don't, you go, oh, poor me. Or, you know, or why is he doing this to me? Or why is this happening? And, complaining. And that was the thing too. It says and that's what it says in Yehuda. It says these are the wicked. It keeps going on about these wicked works and these wicked sinners, and it says these are grumblers and complainers who walk according to their own lusts, and their mouths speak proudly, admiring faces for gains. They're going around telling everyone how wonderful you are, waiting for everyone to look at you, but complaining and grumbling. That's the opposite of what it says in Jacob, where he tells us to count it all joy. And it's saying to there, if you're a complainer and a grumbler, and when I saw that, I thought, oh crap, this is about me. This refmo.
It's about all of us,
Everyone.
And I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to be that anymore. You know, with the end of the day when Mark comes home from work, I don't want him to hear, oh, it was hard, or this happened, or that happened. At the end of it all, he'll probably hear everything that happened in the day because I tell him everything. But it doesn't have to be, oh, I'm glad you're home because this happened and that. It can be all the positive things, exciting things, and oh, this happened, but we learnt this from it, instead of the grumbling and complaining and things about stuff. So that was a big thing. We're supposed to count everything joy, not grumble and complain. So I'm excited to do that.
Right.
Wonderful.
Fantastic. That's the way you look at things.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah.
If you look at the last 10 years of our life and compare with those two chapters, you know, it's just all about behaviour, training in righteousness, you know, lusts of the flesh, mockers will come amongst us. Look at all our families, people that have come through the assembly, our families, things we've dealt with in the last 10 years, and just how we felt ourselves. And towards the end of Jacob it says that we're a first fruits. We are the first. There's been nothing like us before. We're this special group of people that he's putting together. Like last episode in the behaviour, it was all talking all about the priesthood. He's done away with that priesthood. Now he's got a new thing. I'm doing a new thing, and he wants us to make this resurrection. He wants us to make this first fruit. We're like it's out of a sci-fi movie. It's like elite team. Like it's like. You don't just. They're not gifts. We all have gifts that we use, but this is something different to all that. I'm training you in your life, in your personal life, to be, you know, like a soldier. Like this is really strict. You've got to be strict with yourself. You've got to be strict with your wife and family and children and your job, and everything's so serious. Your behaviour's not serious, but like inside yourself, you know, it's just got to. He's doing a new thing in amongst his people, and we're it. It says there, I will give the crown of life. Well, who's the life? He's the life. So he comes into those that love him in more and more doses. Like the more you love him, the more you prove yourself, the more you overcome, the more he comes into you. Because as Lou said in his possession thing, the whole goal is to be totally possessed. One day we will all totally be possessed. Now we've just got a little bit, you know, and we have to run with a little bit we've got, but try and get more.
Thank you, Doug.
So
Yeah.
it's just like really just stepping out of our own, just the reality of the mundaneness of life without him, and you step out of that and you go, he's got this group of people, but they're not allowed to come together yet. We'd all love to come together, all the people we know online and everything. We'd love all to come together. Oh, we'd have a great time, you know, Shawnee and Hector and Lou and let's all get together. He doesn't want that yet. Like, everybody's scattered across the whole world, and he's doing something in his bride, and when we all come together, it's just going to be an amazing party. You know, like probably when YAHUSHA comes back. But you just look, take a step back and look at it globally, and look at it just what he's doing with his people, and He's training us for a battle, like for a war.
Mm.
And we're just looking at our 9 to 5, getting up and going to sleep, and we're not looking at what he's actually doing. Like, look who we were 10 years ago. We're just idiots,
Mm.
the things we did and our
Lost.
behaviours. Yeah.
Mm.
Even when we called ourselves Nazarene, we still didn't have a clue.
No.
And now he's given us these systems. Like, as much teaching as we've had over the last 10 years, I haven't heard 5 simple systems like we've had so far of how to get everything together.
Yeah. How to live it, how to do it. That's so important.
Just simple stuff. You
Yeah.
know, you're finding it helpful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
That's how I felt when I read Jacob, because it said here, Jacob, a servant of Elohim, and so when I heard a servant, I felt like a soldier, yeah? And so like a soldier for Yahusha, and so like Mark said, he's preparing us, so he wants his people well equipped, yeah, and like lacking in nothing. And so before, of course, my belief, doubting, yeah, and so it says that he's like a double-minded man, unstable in all his ways. Yeah, so he was unstable, but just what I've been through and what Yahusha's bringing me through, and reading this, and it says that if any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask Elohim. And so it's like I feel that being a bit more aware and a bit more awake, and then
But there's a condition with that too. When you ask of wisdom, did you read that?
it says
Don't always get what you want.
No. No. The way you've got to ask.
but he should ask in belief, not doubting.
Yeah.
For he who doubts is like a wave is driven and tossed. Yeah.
Yeah. Double-minded.
Double-minded.
You'll get nothing if you like that.
Yeah.
So there's a condition.
Yeah.
If you ask for wisdom, he gives liberally and he'll give it to you.
Yeah.
But you've got to believe.
Yeah.
You've got to exercise that belief of yours.
Yeah. So it's
So
like
what's belief? Trusting.
trusting.
You can't see it, but you believe it's coming or it's going to happen.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful area to go into.
Yeah.
You know?
So it's like that. He's providing those tools for us,
Yep.
and we just got to. I need that. I need that one. I need
Yeah.
those tools to accomplish the task ahead.
Right. Well, brothers and sisters, I think the guys have covered so many wonderful points, and there's lots of inspiration for us all in that. We're just going to do something a little bit different now. I'm going to share what jumped up at me from the scripture, and we're just going to discuss that again. So if you want to grab yourselves a cup of tea or something, go and do that now. But let's see. What really hit me is in... Who was Jude anyway? Who was he?
Yahusha's
brother.
Yeah?
Yeah.
He was Yahusha's brother.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So he must have been around when Yahusha was there. So this is written after he rose, isn't it?
Yeah.
And, was resurrected. That's interesting, isn't it, to know that this is a disciple telling us. One thing that he said which was really hit me, it says, beloved ones, in verse 3 of Jude, making all haste to write to you concerning our common deliverance. Common deliverance. Our common deliverance. We have, no, not common like that. We have a common deliverance. Like they all knew about it. Everyone was having it. Everyone was experiencing it. Everyone knew. They received the Ruach HaKodesh, and they'd been, given wisdom and light and newness, and they were just having this incredible experience, which is still available today, and which is the same as they experience, what we experience. It's the same Spirit. He's the same yesterday, today, and forever.
Yeah.
So they talked about a common deliverance. Of course, in most other scriptures they say salvation. Delivered. So who delivered them? Ruach HaKodesh, who is? Yahusha. So whoever came to Yahusha, they were healed immediately, or evil spirits just went away. So if you have his Spirit, you're going to have that effect, after you pass the test, this test, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right? So he's training us to become what he wants, like Yehuda was, Jude. He'd been trained, hadn't he? And they had all had this common deliverance. And they were all living Torah. They were all doing it. How wonderful. Like you're saying, it'd be great when we get together. I'm sure he wants us all to have this common deliverance. What have we been delivered from?
Wickedness.
Death.
Okay, right. So we've been delivered from sin. Yeah?
Yeah.
So when you think of that, what is sin in us? What is in us before the deliverance? What is in us?
Wickedness, spirits, evil spirits.
Yeah, wickedness. Our behaviour would be wickedness, wouldn't it? Would be evil because of the spirit that was in us. So when the Ruach HaKodesh comes in, it's a massive upheaval in someone's life, isn't it? And they get this deliverance. So all the people that are real have a common deliverance. And their behaviour is kindness, isn't it? Loving. So you can see who's got it and who hasn't got the Ruach HaKodesh, yeah? So we should be aware of this. We should know and talk more often about the common deliverance. Oh, what happened when you got delivered? What were you delivered from? How did you feel? Because there's a very big difference, and that's what we want to look at. It would be great to be mixing with people who knew they had a common deliverance, and they were delivered, and they were living this delivered life. Yeah?
Fantastic.
Yeah, people used to hate it when you'd ask them about their deliverance, didn't they?
Yeah.
They'd cut you off and get mean. And
Yeah.
have you been immersed?
Yeah.
What are you here for then?
So the deliverance was caused. The deliverance was caused by what? So I'm not going to. We're going to just share our thoughts tonight. There's not going to be any big bang, but we're just going to share, respond to the word.
Yeah.
So the deliverance is, what was I saying?
Caused by what?
Caused by what? Yeah. What causes the deliverance?
And repent.
He comes in.
Yahusha's death.
Yeah, Yahusha's death. So what did he do? How come he got delivered? So I'm just going to read. We got delivered. What did he do to deliver us? So where did it all come from? How did it work? I'm just going to read through some things, and I just want you to think and flow. Stop me if you want to say something.
Okay.
We're going to work it like this, and just how you feel, your thoughts feel about this. Okay? What is our common deliverance? Liberation from captivity. And when you think Yahusha was only 31 years old when he did all this. You're all much older than him now, aren't you? He was only that old. You're not, that's right, you're not. So, liberation from captivity. That's the deliverance. So, captivity. What's the captivity? You're a slave. Yeah. And you're looking at what he did, yeah. And we're all in bondage of some sort. A slave to what? To what? What had us in bondage, in jail, even though we're walking around, we can do what we want. We have to be careful, otherwise we'll be put in jail or killed or something, you know? Captivity. The price of release. What's the price of release? What goes through your head there? Are you doing this too with us, brothers and sisters? The price of release. What was the price?
What Yahusha did. His price that he went
But
through.
why was there a price for him to go and be killed and slaughtered? Why was there a... What's he doing? What's it all about? Why is he doing this? And how did it deliver us? Where do you get the understanding from about it? These are just thoughts. To deliver over, to give up what was held. So who would have to do that? No.
To give up what was held.
Someone had to deliver over, give it back. To give up what was held. Yeah. What's all that? What's going on?
No wonder he's so angry.
Eh?
No
Yeah,
wonder
yeah,
he's so
yeah.
angry. He has to
Yeah.
give us up each
That's
time.
right. But why is it all? How come we're in this state? And what was it all about? What make thoughts? To give back, to pay the required price, payment, recompense, repay, restore, reward, sell, yield. What's going on? What's this all about? He went and shed his blood and he said, drink my blood and eat my body. What's going on? And Satan has to give back us. How come we're in that place? And never knew it, and most people don't. So many people are locked in to these mindset strongholds. Reward, sell, yield. Just the thoughts about Yahusha and why he did, what's it all about. In a legal sense, to be quit of a person. The opponent being appeased and withdrawing. Who was that? Withdrawing his suit. So it's a legal thing, eh?
Satan again.
Satan again. The price of release. The price, money's involved. Or some payments involved, yeah? Excuse me. What's going on? What's this common deliverance that we all share? We see that all this has gone down. It's all been done. It's legal and everything. And it's spiritual, and it's between Satan and Yahusha and man and the Pharisees. All this is going on. What is it? What's happening? What?
That's good.
Yeah?
I like it.
To be set free, to make free, to take out. That's us. We're being taken. To deliver, to rescue. We've been rescued. Yahusha's pleasure in the issue of their deliverance from danger. Yahusha had great pleasure in the issue of our deliverance from danger. Because of what he did, he's delivered us from...
Yes.
What's the danger?
Sin equals death.
Death. Well, when you die and you don't have Yahusha, what happens?
You're asleep and then you'll be judged and annihilated.
Yeah. Into, like Lou was talking about in his Kabbalah, oblivion. That's where they want to go. That's where they're all into going into oblivion. It makes you think of the
Nirvana.
no, you were talking about drawing, and there's a road that they go and it goes over a cliff, you know what I mean? You said you'd be swallowed up in it. Enter the narrow gate. Don't go on the wide road. You'll be sucked in to oblivion, to your death, because you're choosing the world and its ways more so than Yahusha's advice to us how to live.
It's like a big setup, isn't it, from Satan, because he knows what the consequences will happen to everyone.
But see, it makes you think how many people are really seeing this and doing this, or know this. How many people are real? He says there's a little flock out of the whole world. And you think of the deliverance from Egypt, all those millions of people, and only 2 made it. See? When a covenant is laid down, someone has to die to fulfill the agreement and claim the prize.
Read it again. The covenant.
When a covenant is laid down, someone has to die to fulfill the agreement and claim the prize. So if there's a covenant laid down between 2 people, one has to die so that the other person can have the prize or claim whatever. You know, it's given back to them. Right. So someone has to die to fulfill the agreement and claim the prize. So Yahusha died, didn't he? He gave a covenant. He was in a covenant. And he died for the covenant, didn't he? But then he tricked Satan and rose from the dead, taking death, conquering death, and going up into Shemaim. Amazing.
So there's no greater loss than death.
Death was the last one. Death was the last one. Satan thought he'd won, thought he'd killed, and he died. But then what did he do?
Rose from the dead.
Said, hey baby, you think you're better? Try this one. He can't do that, can he? So when you think that covenant was laid down, it's quite amazing. It goes back here and it says, Abraham cut the animals and walked through their blood with the lamp, the light, Yahusha. That was a covenant way back. What was the covenant about? What was all that about? What was it going on? Abraham's the father of our
Belief. How to connect with the Father again after the garden was destroyed.
And his life went right through, didn't it? So what's going on? What's going on? 10 Commandments is our covenant, which he renewed for us. That's the way to live, isn't it? If you live the 10 Commandments, you're going to be safe. You're going to be protected, which is Yahusha's promise. But you can't partake of those promises unless you believe. And so you have to exercise yourself. While you're in this world, you have to exercise yourself and you say, I'm going to believe. I do believe. I look at the world, I see the world, Hector, and I'm going to believe. You know? Nothing's going to happen unless we
Believe first. You have to.
What is deliverance? Deliverance from human danger. Can we look up Luke 1:71? You read that, Victor?
Deliverance from our enemies and from the hand of all those hating us. Oh, that's fantastic.
Because why do you say that, Darling? Do you feel there are those hating you?
Oh, yeah, there's, you know, you have enemies, or, you know, you feel that, and you know through the...
Why would you have enemies?
Because you don't go along with them. You don't go to their parties and, you know, go along with their
Lifestyle,
beliefs and lifestyle. And,
food,
yeah, all
practices,
their whole...
traditions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they hate you because they turn away and speak all sorts of things because you don't agree and go along with them.
I have the same thing as you, so we've got a common deliverance.
Isn't that great?
Yeah? You have that too, Mark?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Where's the guys?
They're keeping the peace.
Toilet. All right. The next one we want to look at is B, for the sinful human predicament by Yahuwah's revealed plan of deliverance.
Was this what we're delivered from?
Yeah, we're just talking about it and getting the thoughts.
Okay.
What is deliverance? You know, deliverance from human danger, deliverance from the sinful human predicament. The sinful human predicament by Yahusha's revealed plan of deliverance. 2 Corinthians 7:10.
All the books are out of order.
Yeah, I know, it's good, isn't it?
Who will rescue us from so great a death, and does rescue in whom we trust that he shall still rescue us.
Right, so no matter what's going to happen, he's going to rescue us from the human sin predicament. Right. And the next one is 1 Thessalonians 5:9. You do that, Amy?
Because Yahuwah did not appoint us to wrath, but to obtain deliverance through our Master, Yahusha Mashiach.
Right. He didn't appoint us to.
Wrath.
What's his wrath?
Destroy the world.
Pressure. Hates it. Hates us. Hates what we're doing. His wrath, his anger, because we're rejecting. He's bought us, paid the price for us, and we're running around this earth doing what we want to, you know, causing trouble, doing whatever we want. Yeah? So, he doesn't appoint us to wrath, but to obtain deliverance through our Master. So we have been appointed to obtain deliverance. There's only a small flock, isn't there? Which is really amazing and frightening, eh?
So,
The next scripture is 1 Peter 1:5.
Who are protected by the power of Elohim through belief for a deliverance ready to be revealed in the last time.
That's it. So we're protected by the power of Elohim through
Belief.
Now, if you don't believe, will you be protected?
No.
So we have to
believe.
exercise
You can't please him without belief.
who are protected by the power of Elohim through belief for deliverance, ready to be revealed in the last time. So that's happening now. I think you're all talking about the deliverances that you're having. You see more, you're understanding more. You know? And then we have Revelation 12:10. That's easy to find.
Is it still at the end?
Yes.
And I heard a loud voice saying in the heaven, now have come the deliverance and the power and the reign of our Yahuwah and the authority of his Mashiach, for the accusers of our brothers who accused them from before our Yahuwah, Yom and Layla, has been thrown down.
Has been thrown down. The accuser has been thrown down. When was he thrown down?
When Yahusha died and rose again.
Yeah,
When he went up, booted him out.
that's right.
So where's Satan?
In this world,
Whereabouts? Where's his seat at the moment?
It's papacy.
in the circus.
He's the beast, isn't it? Or the little horn or something like that. The Pope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So have we had a common deliverance?
Yeah.
We know what that deliverance is.
Mm.
And when we go through these scriptures, just these sayings that we looked up in the scriptures, what are your thoughts? Brothers and sisters, what are you thinking about this? Yeah? Ooh. Ooh.
Oh, it's everywhere.
Yeah. Have you got thoughts?
Stop laughing at me.
What is this all about, this common deliverance? What's it all about?
It's about our belief.
Yeah.
And belief is something you can't give someone. Like, I can't make anyone else believe.
Mm.
I think, well, this is just my idea, I think Yahusha must give us that choice, and to believe or not. And I know he chooses us, but we have that opportunity to believe or not to believe, and it's from within us. It's our free will to choose to believe or not. That's what I feel.
Right. What's the covenant? What's this thing that this paying back the price? What's going on? Why did he have to buy us? Why did Yahusha have to buy us? Why is it a legal thing? What's going on? What happened with all that?
Because he created these beings in his own image, us, human beings created in his image, and Satan was so furious and jealous that he was wanting a family, and so he sought to destroy it, destroy the connection, and he knew the only way he could do that was by getting us to follow his instructions instead of Yahusha's instructions from the beginning. Adam and Kawhi did that, and so from that point on he had to gain back that relationship, and because of all his covenants and symbols and shadows and everything he laid forth, he had to obey his own instructions because he made them. So he had to go through all the blood and the covenant, he had to go through all the steps that he went through to gain back what was already his in the first place, I guess, to show us. I mean, he could have just gone, I've changed my mind, I'm taking them back. You know, get stuff, Satan. He did it all legally and properly so that I guess he was blameless. He's always blameless.
What did Satan do?
Satan took us.
How?
By enticing us to obey his way, because love is obedience, so to obey Satan instead of...
So there's the world, there's the creation, man and woman is put there. How did Satan become the boss of this world? He wasn't thrown down then, was he? So, and Yahusha had a plan to come and do what he did to get back us. And he had to go through a process to get us. So how did Satan trick us to become boss of the earth?
lust of the flesh.
What did he do?
He
You
tricked
tricked
Wow.
You can eat that
To
fruit.
go against what Yahuwah had said.
That's right.
They just.
So what did that
That's
do?
not true.
When she lied and did what she did and Adam did what he did?
Close the garden up.
That's when they got kicked out into the world where Satan was in control.
Right. And they lost.
Yeah.
They lost the control. They lost the control of themselves and the control they had over earth, right, that he'd given them. And they just felt wretched. We know what that feeling's like, brothers and sisters, don't we, when we're the outside of the garden? We have those outside of the garden experiences quite often, and that snake comes along, doesn't he?
We have a market garden. Batteries left.
Then they went through a whole process of time, and then it got so bad, Yahuwah destroyed everyone, didn't he?
Yeah.
And so then there's only a few left again in the ark. Then off again, it starts again, you know, getting worse and worse again. Here we are. Do you think we're at the end of it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Coming towards the end of it?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Seems like it.
Does seem like it, doesn't it? Well, we have to make up our mind whether we believe it or not. Yeah. So we know that Yahusha has taken back control of the... But what's going on? Does it look like that?
He's only done it legally.
Yeah.
People don't believe it. Believe in him.
Yeah, because it only works through...
Believe.
Yeah. So there has to be... We're having a deliverance, aren't we?
Yeah.
We can see the power has taken us to that place, yeah?
Yeah.
So his power is in the world working because we're proof of it, aren't we?
Yeah.
And he wants the world to see his people, doesn't he? And how he treats us and looks after us and what he does for us. And our mouth will be telling others, yeah? So it's interesting when we think about it, isn't it? What he actually, the price he paid.
Yeah.
And he was 31 and he knew all this and he had all this wisdom. And he gave up his body, his life, for what he believed. But of course he rose again and said, "Hi kids, I'm all right." You know? Satan's been kicked out of heaven. He has no power in Shemayim anymore. He's here on earth. He has his own seat. Right? But how many people realise their deliverance and know? You know, when I said to you and Jason the other day in one of those sessions, get up and go over and touch that wall and come back. There you are. He couldn't do anything about what you did, could he? Satan couldn't stop you.
You got control over your vessel.
You did, yeah. And this is what the deliverance is all about. You can make your body say or do what you want, what Yahusha wants you. And that's the whole key, listening to him and doing what he wants, because he's got a plan. But we have to give up our life, our desires, and to achieve that. Like Yahusha took you two down to Malakuta and put you in a place, didn't he? So that you would listen. Yeah? And then he gave you a bit of a time, a bit of a shaking up. And then he said, "Come on, I want you to do this now." So here you are in another world doing all this. And you're listening to him now, aren't you? Because you don't want to go have a Malakuta experience, do you? Again? As lovely as it was, but, you know, it's not the feeling, you know. You want to be alive. So, you know, he works it out for us. And it's not only you guys that he's going through that, and then he blesses you, doesn't he? So we have to go through something that you were talking about. That word, the words you picked out was really good, Jason. And that's what hit me too. The first one was the common deliverance. And look what you get out of just letting him come through you and go and seeking stuff, you know. I felt, verse 3, I felt the necessity to write to you, urging you to earnestly contend for the belief, which was once for all delivered to the Kadesh ones. So you see, when they contended, the emissaries, when they contended for the belief, what happened? They fought the battle, they overcame. You know? What happened? So, we look up the word contend and it means a contest. Remember years ago I talked about this?
Run the race.
Run the race. It's a race.
Yeah.
Prize.
There's a
You're
prize.
going to live in a mansion or a dumpster?
2 Timothy 2:5. Let's have a look at that. 2 Timothy 2:5, brothers and sisters.
And if anyone competes in a game, he is not crowned unless he competes according to the rules.
That's right. So you got rules.
That's why Yahusha had to do the way he did it. He had to play by the rules. He couldn't just change the rules.
So what's he talking about there? What games is he talking about?
The race.
It's the Olympic Games.
Yeah.
They had the Olympic Games then.
Yeah.
And when they did the Olympic Games, they were naked.
Yeah.
So when we're in this race, and it's a race and a contest before all the world, we're really naked because they can see our behaviour. It's all about the behaviour, how you are worshipping Yahusha in your behaviour. You stay on the word, you're in the race, you know. If you stay out of the word, you're going to crumble at the side. But it's something, the belief is something that we have to contend for. Well, fight, yeah. It's a contest. And it's a race. Like the Olympic Games, it's just like the Olympic Games. When you're out there in front of the world, you're a contender. You're naked. They can see every part of you, how you're performing, which is your behaviour. You can't hide it. And if your behaviour's Torah, you're going to have a very good chance of winning. An excellent chance of winning. So all those doubts and things that have been coming to us, brothers and sisters, all those doubts, what are they? Who is it? It's the enemy trying to stop you from doing Torah. As I said to Jason and Mark, get up and walk over the wall and touch the wall. Do it because you want to. So they did it and they came back. And there was nothing on this earth that could stop them. And so it will be with your belief. If you believe you've heard from Yahusha, go and do it or say it and you'll have a victory. Yeah? Isn't it exciting?
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Is your camera still on, Jay?
To contend in public games. 1 Corinthians 9:25. I think we did that. No, we didn't.
And everyone who competes controls himself in every way. Now they do it to receive a corruptible crown, but we for an incorruptible crown. Therefore I run accordingly, not with uncertainty. Thus I fight.
That's 26.
That's
Just 25.
Right.
What are they doing it for?
Incorruptible crown.
Right. And everyone who competes controls himself in every way. Now they do it to receive a corruptible crown, but we for an incorruptible crown.
Yeah.
So this is the prize when we go over the first chapter in Jude, Yehuda, the first chapter, last verse, verse 24.
And to him who is able to keep you from stumbling and to present you blameless before the presence of his esteem with exceeding joy.
So this is what Yahusha wants to do with us, to reach us, to communicate with us through his Spirit, to say, run the race, because I want to present you.
Blameless before the presence of
So you get the crown of?
life.
Is that what you were talking about, the crown of life before, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's the. I was talking more about possession, but what you're saying is really good. I was saying like he's the crown, he's him in us.
Now if we can look at James, Jacob, that's just the next book over to where we were. We read to verse 12.
Yeah.
And verse 12 says,
Blessed is the man who does endure trial, for when he has been proved, he shall receive the crown of life which the Master has promised to those who love him.
Say it again, Joe.
No. Blessed is the man who does endure trial, for when he has been proved, he shall receive the crown of life which the Master has promised to those who love him.
so blessed is the man who does endure what?
Trial.
Have you got to count it all joy?
Yes.
You've got to endure it, and that's proving yourself by your behaviour to Yahusha. Whatever comes at you, you're not going to crumble. You're going to, and this is the race. This is the race. Not to crumble, to endure, to prove yourself. Whatever he's going to throw at you, you're not going to grumble and carry on. Are you guys? You're not going to grumble and carry on. For when he has been proved, remember we did all that on proving?
Yeah.
He shall receive the crown of life which the Master has promised to those who love him. So what have you got to do to get the crown of life? Prove that you
love him.
You've got to prove that you love him by your worship, which is your behaviour. And that's why we all have a common deliverance, because we know when we have that, we start loving each other. We're kind to each other.
That's
Yeah.
lovely.
So what are your thoughts on that, guys?
Oh, it's amazing. Just the race.
How do you feel about the race now?
Yeah,
Did you know about the race like this?
not like this. No.
It's a whole different slant on it, doesn't it?
And the race
Your
is what?
encouragement.
The race is how you're going to endure the trials, the tests, the hard.
And you're willing to, and you're ready when it comes at you.
Happy about it.
Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm gonna. That means I've got to, like, instead of being.
And that shows you love who?
Yahusha.
You go on.
This is another chance to prove. This is more of the race I can win.
The more you're willing to go there, he'll throw it at you.
Isn't that a great understanding? I just find that so encouraging.
Yeah.
Because I don't like just doing things for doing things' sake, you know.
Yeah.
I need to have that understanding of improving how much you love him by, going through the trials in a great attitude.
Do you feel like this, Phyllis, darling?
The
And
attitude.
girls out there, what do you want to say to the girls?
Oh,
Have they
girls.
been running the race?
I don't know. If you like me,
Have
you
they
haven't
been aware?
No, because the world comes in on women a lot, and I think they've been deceived so much to do how the worldly women do it, and that's just the wrong way around. Yahusha wants to bring us. He had so many wonderful women in Scripture, and he wants to give us that wonderful understanding.
But you'll only
that
get it if you believe,
if we believe
if you're willing to endure the
the
trial,
prove our
prove
love.
that you love him, and then you will get
the crown of life. Yeah. That's wonderful.
it's a whole different.
Yeah.
Yeah. What? Tell us, Mark.
The tests and trials aren't going to be an inconvenience anymore. That's the point.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Yeah.
You're excited about it.
Yeah.
Getting them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And behaving.
And behaving. That's the whole point.
A lot of the times you think they are interfering in my peace. I've got to have peace.
Who did you think it was?
Satan.
Satan.
Yeah.
And who was it?
It's Yahusha.
Giving you a
Test. Chance to win.
prove yourself
Yeah.
by taking on, counting it joy. Whatever happens, you're going to count it joy. You're going to pass the test, and you're going to get the crown of life. This is what it's all
It's
about.
training. Training. You can't be trained if you're not getting trained.
Mm.
It's stupid. You can't. If you're not having pressure and having to. You look at a soldier. They don't just come out the other end after a couple of days. They've got to go through grueling. Something has to happen in us to change us. We can't just wake up and I'm changed. I'm not like I was. You've got to go through hideous pressure and training to be a different person. And when we first came into this, I hated myself. I just hated who I am. How do you change that? He changes us by overcoming each step that he puts in front of us.
And were you enjoying the trials?
I hated it.
Will you now?
Everybody who's part of it. Yeah.
Do you like this, Jason?
Yeah.
Talk to me. They're very quiet. Yeah?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Need to gap the tape. Next time.
Yeah, bit nervous.
Of what?
I was anticipating the tests that are coming. Like you get nervous if you got to study for exam, you got your test coming. You want to get it right, you want to pass it. Yeah, to receive, whatever you're wanting to,
That's serious.
Well,
I used
I've
to
got
do
a
that.
scripture for you.
Yeah.
It says he won't put more on you than what you can handle. How about that? Hey?
Yeah, that's good.
So he knows your limits.
Yeah.
Because each one is given coin
Oh,
to
yeah.
their
Yeah, that's-
understanding, to their abilities,
Yeah.
right? So he's giving you this opportunity to understand. It's wisdom, it's gold for you, it's coin to trade with. The knowledge, the wisdom, you'll be able to, once you start practicing. What haven't you been through, Jason? What haven't you been through?
Yeah.
What tests haven't you been through?
Yeah.
You're still here dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's dancing.
Uh,
Yeah?
yeah.
So, you can look forward to the challenge. Talk with Ellie about it. Say, do you think Yahushua is giving us a trial? We've got to pass this with joy, darling.
And the trial's not because you've done something wrong necessarily.
No.
Yeah. That's what I wanted to say. I thought that today. There's the pressure and the pain and everything of the stupid choices and the hole you put yourself in. And then there's the pressure of winning because you're actually doing something right. I haven't really been in that place before. It's just in this one. But to be in this one and possibly get persecution, because you've actually done something right, that'd be exciting. To actually do something right that you're worth getting persecuted.
So that's why you've got to prove, sorry mate, you've got to prove yourself to be worthy, to found worthy, to get the crown.
Yeah. Well, see, it gives you a thought like that. You have to put it into operation, and you have to pass the test of it. And that's your worship, the way you behave through the trial. And that's how you grow in the understanding and in your strength.
Yeah, so so you can't jump over the fence. No jumping.
Got to go in the gate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't work, I tried.
But no one can see or understand what you're going through, only you and Yahusha. It's no good trying to talk to somebody out there that's not in the experience.
No.
It's useless. But you can thoroughly enjoy it and have fun.
Yeah. It's like a new chapter, isn't it? It's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what's the simple system here? What have we got to break this down to? A couple of sentences.
Well,
What's this one about? 'Cause
what have you discovered? A common
deliverance.
deliverance. So we're all having the same experience. And we've realised about the grumblers and what he did to the grumblers and how they were, and Satan's kicked out of heaven, he's down here now, and he can't make us do anything that we don't want to do, can he?
No.
We can go over and touch the wall and he can't do anything about it, which shows you have power over those thoughts. Yeah? And Yahusha is going to test you. It's a contest. It's a contest. It's like being in the Olympic Games. It's a contest to run the race to win. And the contest is what?
Your behaviour.
Yeah. He's going to prove you. He's going to test you. And you've got to do it, receive it all with joy. Because he's waking us up. You know, he'll do that to us. Oh, you know, we're going to grumble or we're going to receive it or what? Not like that, but he'll do things in our everyday daily lives that can really make us grumble, can't they? Yeah. So there's your system there. You know, we've all got a common deliverance. We're all under the same application. We're all doing the same test. We're all running the race. It's just how well you're going to receive it with joy. If you do, he can present you to the Father, and he'll have exceeding joy in presenting you, and you get the crown of life. If you're willing to pass the test with joy. It's all about having joy and love. And this is our worship, the obedience. I don't think anyone's really realised this, but now you have the opportunity, brothers and sisters, to start putting this to practice in your life. And so we're all in the same boat. But he wants to mature his bride, and he's the one that does it. So instead of grumbling or being upset in the future, realise Yahusha is wanting you to prove your love for him. Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, brothers and sisters, it's been wonderful spending time with you. I hope you're going to respond to Mark and Jason. We'll say good night now.
Thank you.
We love you all so much.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
The time is coming soon, so let's rejoice. Rejoice in Yahusha. The time is coming soon, so let's rejoice. Let's lift his mighty name. He's my rock